For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation. In the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play with industry professionals tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your play-by-play.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back live and in person.
Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday, dude. It's beautiful weather here in lower Alabama, and I know y'all missed interacting with us last week as we were pre-recording. It was weird. It was very weird for us to pre-record.
Absolutely, yeah.
We love doing this live.
Yep, I like getting the interaction, seeing those comments, come through. It was really cool.
It's cool. Our loyal, faithful following, all three of them.
Jessica told me to make sure I mentioned, people are actually listening, Dustin.
Really
I know
do.
it's so crazy when you get, I get calls from detailers showing them software, and they've been following us and really do picking up tips. You're dropping knowledge on business is really resonating with a lot of these guys.
Well, it's cool to hear that because you don't really know. We're just sitting here in a room of four of us and talking and just chatting it up, really. And then when you hear hear people calling and say, "Hey, we follow the podcast or we listen to it or whatever," it's cool. It's motivating,
Well, these guys are literally detailing with their earphones and they're listening to us.
So if you're listening right now, we really appreciate you guys listening to us. It just motivates us. All right, listen, let's get on the show. We got a great one today. We're diving into our Power Couple series. We're still in this, and we got Marcy and Alex Tran with Clean Car Custom Detail, and they are a power couple for sure. She's a sweetheart, but a business beast, man.
Sir.
She runs the show, and I can't wait to meet her husband and hear their story. It's going to be a great one. Ryan, what you got on deck today?
Oh, well, sir, besides my magnetic personality and good looks,
I'll be
bringing, I don't write this. I'll be bringing you today's hacker hack, man. I've seen Coca-Cola used for a multitude of things, removing battery acid and rust. But we're going to be seeing if it'll do the trick getting bird droppings off your car, dude.
Guys, are we down to Coca-Cola cleaning bird droppings? I mean, is that where we're at? I know a detailer did not write this. Or did not do this.
Oh, yeah. Just get us your submissions, guys. Hacker hack, we need some submissions.
Yeah, we're down to Coca-Cola getting bird droppings off and tree sap off. But listen, I think it is a good idea. I think there's a thing that it can do.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see the video. Can't wait to talk about why it does what it does, and just check that out. Guys, if you've been following our intro along, and we know you have because you tell us to. You tell us that you do.
All right.
We are we've talked about growing your business. We've talked about hiring employees. We've talked about bringing in subs or adding services. Well, now that we've got this business booming and up and running, we want to talk about how to handle the busy season, right?
Yeah, we're running into it. I mean,
we're knee deep in it. We're chin deep in it right now,
right.
And and it's and so now if you've been following on, you're making these changes in your business. We need to know how to manage a busy schedule.
Sure.
And so we wanted to talk today about about how to do that.
Right.
What are the things that you should look out for when you start to get busy, when this business is growing, and you want to make sure that you're that you're making, doing things right, keeping people happy.
That's right. Stuff falls through the cracks, man. Whenever you get busy, and there's a handful of things that you should have to remember to focus on, or else, you can be as good as you can be, but if you drop these things, this ball, it's not going to go good for.
Well, and it's tough to overcome, right? When you're building that momentum, you want to keep things going smooth, and if you have these little things that come up and they're not solved, then it just kind of negates some of that progress you made. So first thing we want to talk about is customer communication. And what happens when you're busy? When you're only doing one detail, it's not hard to remember to call that customer and let them know it's ready. Or call that customer and say, hey, it's going to be an extra hour. Or remember what that customer said when they said, hey, don't adjust my driver's seat.
Right.
Okay?
They're very, very...
But when you have 6 coatings to do today and 4 boats, being a little dramatic there, but when you have that kind of volume to do, you got to have damn good customer communication.
Sure.
And you got to make sure that you communicate that with your employees and all of that. Everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, and that customer needs to feel like he or she is the only one that you're dealing with.
That's right. They're not just a number, even though in your system, it
yes.
is a number, but they want to be treated like an individual. They also want, your full attention. They want to know that they're being heard. And so making sure that you not only listen, but notate and have those notes passed along, down the chain of employees. I mean, it's extremely important.
Yeah, and to you, that yes, they're just a number in the shop. To them, you're their only one.
Right.
Like, they're getting this job done, and they don't intend on doing it tomorrow or next week. They want it right this time.
Right.
And they want to know that they're unique in your shop. Like, their little situations and their specific requests are getting handled. And so that is the number one issue, is customer communication. I'll never forget, man, years ago when we would come into busy season, we'd have all these boats on the lot, and we'd just tell everybody, bring their boats. We'd get to it when we can, kind of first come, first serve. But, man, customers were like every day they was calling asking, when's my boat going to be done? When's my boat going to be done? And it just felt like we were never ahead. It felt like we were always fighting from behind.
Right.
So that communication, that knowing your schedule, knowing where they're at on the schedule, and then letting them know that. Over-communicate, and then that way they have a solid understanding of what you're doing.
Right. I mean, I know a lot of detailers that are afraid that the customers are getting too many notifications sometimes.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I mean, what is a notification? It's something you can ignore, something you can look at.
It's a
but
text.
Really, it's something that you're going to find a lot of people appreciate that ongoing communication more than you're going to find somebody that just doesn't like receiving the text.
And it's not standard in our industry. So you got to understand, now we're showing these customers that aren't expecting their detailer to tell them, hey, my vehicle's getting started, or hey, my vehicle's going through the QC process. Like, these are things that nobody's done. So yes, it's a shock to the customer at first.
Sure.
But they are very appreciative to be informed. We all like to be informed. We all like to know what the hell's going on with our stuff. Yep. And so if we tell them along the way, then they can follow it. Another thing is quality control. And dude, let me tell you, this is as big as customer communication, because the first thing that's going to start to fail is your quality. When you start to get busy, it's the little things. It's not, I didn't vacuum the carpets. It's, I forgot to clean the gas cap.
Yeah, I forgot to pull the mirror down on the passenger side and
hit the mirror, right? Yep. So, or I forgot one of the compartments in the boat. It's not the big things, guys. We're going to get those right. It's the little things.
That's right.
And having a quality control process in place to check over your guys' work.
Yep.
Or even have them back check their own with a checklist. Because shit's going to happen, and it's going to happen when you're at your busiest.
That's right.
And it's going to leave you looking like, you do your pants down, and you just be standing there like, how did I miss this, or how did this not happen? So
something small and insignificant, you would think is what they notice, and that makes they're paying high dollars for what the service that they're getting, and they expect it to be perfect, and it should be.
What happens is, and I call it the snowball effect. If they find something simple, then they start to really look, and they're really grinding it out. Like, and then they're going to find shit that that ain't even your fault or wasn't, and then it's just a bad experience altogether for you and them. So you want to catch those little things, catch the things that we know that they're going to be looking for. Make sure you kill it on those, and then then you get then you get the pass, then you get the the smiles, the happy, and the handshakes.
And you've got a guy here at your shop that literally, it is his job to look at every single vehicle before the customer sees it and make sure it's perfect.
Make sure it's what we what are we charging for, and what did we say we're going to do? Make sure that we did that, and the notes within that job, make damn sure that we did whatever that customer asked us to do.
Yeah, when I show off the software demo and the software, I like to bring up Easy In, and I just know that's a full everything is it's running the shop, and I'll pull up a job ticket, man, and you'll see 3 or 4 notes in there. Communication from whether it's Tatum to
sales team,
sales team to the shop management. It's just so you can't nothing falls through the cracks when you have it written down like
right.
that.
It helps.
Yes.
It helps. We're not perfect, but it sure helps. One thing I heard this the other day, and I thought this was super cool, and I can't remember. Maybe it was Grant Cardone that said it, but it was always provide more service than value. Like, so always provide more than you charge. So just a little bit more along the way, and then you're always just kind of, that customer's always happy. You're always winning with that customer, and you don't want to start doing a bunch of stuff for free, but always just do a little bit more.
Right.
Give them just a little bit more than what they were expecting, and that helps you when it comes to these little things too. So
absolutely, they're not going to be so hung up on one little mistake if you've always
gone over the top.
Sure.
And so that's it. And then so the obvious, guys, is scheduling. If you don't know how to, if you're busy and you don't have it scheduled, then you can't communicate well with the customer. You can't communicate well with your team, and you sure as hell can't control quality because you don't know what you're working on.
Tell me about the time when you guys had 4 baby blue sea hunts, brand spanking.
Yeah. So man, this was reality. Okay. So I have a huge dry erase board in the back of my office and it used to have a bunch of little clips on it, and we had paper tickets. Well, on that was the vehicle type and what we were doing to it. Well, one day we were going to start a blue sea hunt per our ticket, and we pulled it down. We walked out to the lot, and there was 4. It wasn't baby blue; they were dark blue sea hunts.
Okay,
and they were identical. There were 4 identical boats on this lot.
Right.
And always says blue sea hunt, and and I'm like, okay, which one is this? And so I had to call the customer and like get him to describe, and like tell me how I could tell his boat apart.
Yeah, do you happen to have your registration number at hand or something?
It's just embarrassing, and it's like, how can that guy feel unique?
Right.
How can he feel happy about what he's about to pay me to do if I don't even know which one's his boat?
Right.
That's the type of shit that when you have a good scheduling app in place, that's the stuff that helps you out. Of course, now we put whole ID numbers on there because we still had issues like that even after scheduling software that we built was working. Like, we still realized that, hey, you got to put the whole ID number on there.
Yeah.
And that also helps when boats get sold and stuff like that, so we can identify that boat and what we've done to it in the past.
And of course, all your pictures, you got those before, after picture sorts to saved to the ticket, and they can always be pulled. And yeah, that's definitely one of the great things about the software. I mean, that's kind of the thing that ties all this together. I think you guys went from a month process down to a week with your boats. That's huge.
It is huge. And so what he's talking about, I mean, we used to have boats in here for months, literally. We'd just tell everybody to show up, bring us your boat, and and we'll get to it when we can. Well, let me tell you something about holding people's boats over the weekend. They want their shit. Yeah. And you've never seen somebody more unhappy than if their boat's locked in my fence out here, or if it's not been detailed for the weekend. So now with software, we were able to tell everybody, say, okay, we're going to schedule all of our drop-offs on Monday for boats and pick up by Friday. And we have a certain amount of boats that we can do in that time period.
Yeah.
And so that way, if something doesn't happen, it's just one boat. It's not another 30 boats, not 30 mad customers on my lot. It's one that understood because we communicated to them that, hey, we didn't get to it this week. We're going to get to it the first and next.
And it made it hell to get your storage customers in and out with all these extra boats stacked up.
Added liability. I'm responsible for all those boats sitting on my lot. And so anything happens, theft, damage, whatever, storms, we
did that.
Right, we have. And so those things are huge. Listen, we don't want to get deep, but you got to focus on those. Quality control, customer communication, and your scheduling. Guys, get yourself a software. There's a bunch of good softwares out there. There's 4 of them that I know of that are really good.
Absolutely.
Including Detail Bookie, of course. We'd love to see you on our software. But if it's not the right fit for you, find you one that is. Find one that works for you. Use it. Communicate to your customers. Check your quality. Make sure it's right. And get yourself a schedule that you go by so you can communicate to those customers and get it right.
I love it, man. That's perfect.
Easy enough.
Killed it.
Look, man. All right. Let's get on with our show.
Who we got coming on today, Dustin? What are we doing?
Marcy and Alex Tran, and they are with Clean Car Custom Detail. I cannot say that for the life of me. And I can't wait to talk to them about relationship and all kind of stuff.
Well, hello there.
Hey, Miss Marcy. Doing great. How are you?
There are 2 of us.
There we go.
How's it going over there?
Guys?
What's up, Alex?
Hey, how you doing?
Fabulous. Nice to be inside, breaking up the monotony of the day.
Oh, yes. Hey, Alex, can you slide in camera just a little bit? There you go, right there. Perfect. Well, listen, guys, I'm so happy for y'all to jump in here with us on our Power Couple series. We're just talking to people that are in a relationship, working together every day. We want to talk about the complexities of that, and the way we start this thing off is we want to know how you guys met. We want to hear the story.
Well, being in Texas, we were at a individually, that is, we were at a barbecue all-you-could-eat place. I saw her across the restaurant. Maybe her 3rd trip back up. Like, man, this girl can eat. I like her already.
There you go.
I love it.
A big old pork chop on her plate, and she was choking on it. I came in and did a Heimlich and saved her life, and we were in love.
That sounds like how me and Ron met.
Yeah. I tend to choke on my pork chops.
That's his version. My version is we had both been volunteering. We were doing a public ministry and associated with our faith. And after 1 year of that, we got to attend a Bible school for 2 weeks, and that's where we met. And when I saw him, I liked him. And he didn't notice me.
Well, I think they're both beautiful stories. I would
are.
go with either one of them.
I think Marcy's a little more romantic, though. I mean, I think that's more it sounds a little more accurate.
I mean, he saved her life in his story. That's pretty romantic,
I guess so.
So, guys, tell me about this now. So, how did you get into detailing? Where did that come about?
I'll let you feel that.
Really? That was very much an evolution and pretty much a lot of pivoting and a lot of survival. He had been doing IT work for 10 years and just wanted to do something that was his own business. So he started with a franchise painting bumpers, and pretty quickly we realized that just model wasn't working for us. And so he continued painting the bumpers, but while competing with a non-compete, had to go far out, because we used to live in pretty close to Houston. And so we started to get jobs farther out into the country. And then one thing led to another. There started to be a demand for detailing. Everywhere that he would go to do work for people, they'd say, "Do you know a detailer?" And we're like, "Oh, hello. We are not making enough money to survive, and somebody wants to, there's a problem. Let's give them a solution." And that's how it started. And then we were invited into a dealership, and that was like paid internship. That was hard stuff. I did not know how to manage people. I did not know how to make work productive, or profitable, all that. And from there, we just kept on committing ourselves to learning all the business side of it, and more just from detailing to ceramic coatings to PPF and all that. So it's been pretty much an evolution.
And you mentioned dealership work, and a lot of detailers, that's like the where you cut your teeth, because you know that's where you're looking for work, you're looking for steady work and income. And so when you're in that commercial zone, and they can provide you plenty of work, but man, it's the worst details. They're so bad. And you realize it doesn't take too long to go, hey, you know what, this is in a lot of cases it's not, this is not where I want to do the other services. Now there's like Billy Smith. Now he does a bunch of dealership work, and he kills it. So the market's there for it. But you just got to be in that right mindset. So, that story definitely resonates with me, because that's kind of very similar to mine. With the dealerships. But so you guys been married for 7 years, right? Oh wait, no. Oh, my notes are wrong. 7 years, or maybe y'all been working together as a couple for 7 years.
Working together, yeah. Married, I think
25, going on 26.
About to be 26 years.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's changed.
Y'all been married for 26 years?
6 years.
About to be in June 20.
I don't have this wrote down. What's the secret?
I want to know the secret about looking.
He's just
26.
he's trying to make a month. So
I'm trying to see how they look 26 and been married for 26 years. That doesn't make sense right there. Come on, let's start there.
The 7 years comes from when we started the dealership work. I was 40. I'm 47 now. So
wow.
That explains, that's where the 7 came from.
Gotcha.
How do we do it? I mean, that's a whole nother podcast.
Okay.
That's too much to get to.
But been detailing together for 7 years, and so that's kind of what y'all started the dealership work, and then y'all worked your way into offering all kind of other services, and we're going to get into that. I was just it said 25. That's unbelievable. That's
you're close, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm getting closer. I think sometime this month is our 6th year, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
What day is that?
That's another podcast.
Good one. That was great. So now, what are your respective roles at the business? I imagine you guys have some defined kind of, you do something and she does something else. What are those?
So our defined roles is I run the shop. I know that your next question is going to be how many employees. We only have two guys, okay. So I run myself and the 2 guys, and nice. Also I do estimates, and I do closes on sales.
Yeah. And then, so Marcy, you handle like the back office stuff, processing payments, organizing the books, that kind of thing.
And I've moved into that role, just in the last 6 months. I was out there with them all the time.
Okay. Really?
I love doing interiors. I must have a mental illness. I love it. And now I'm doing PPF. And because of our facilities, I do that after hours, because they're kicking up a bunch of dirt when they're doing the regular details, and I need it clean. So yes, and I'm learning the marketing, the bookkeeping. I love all that part. If you know me, you know that I can't go anywhere without talking about this. So
Right.
I'm glad you said that. I was telling my back office manager Sharon about that book the other day. We were talking about some stuff and what she was asking for. I said, listen, because we were going through some budget stuff. She said, I really want to make a shift. I own multiple companies, but she said, I want to make a shift into budget and savings and a more organized process. I said, well, you need to read the book Profit First, and it'll teach you the process and how to shift and actually plan profits and it's just like the power bill or the rent or whatever. You're going to make sure that's paid. Well, you make sure your profits are there, and then everything else comes. And it's a really good book. I love that book. So I'm glad you mentioned that. She'll be watching this, and see, I told you so, Sharon. So listen, so you guys, do either one of y'all have a job outside of detailing, or is this it?
just me. Well, I have a little medical billing gig on the side, but even that, I'm phased. Before I did this, I worked part-time for a couple of psychologists. And so then once I had babies, they just let me do the work remotely at home. But even some of the bigger accounts, the ones that were taking more time, I recently, even though I've worked for them for like 20, 30 years, I had to give some of it back because my time, there's a better return on investment when I'm working on our marketing than when I'm just spending a little bit of money for them. So.
Yeah, and listen, that's hard to make that shift over, but as you do, it's so much more rewarding when you're doing it for yourself. It doesn't get any better than that, and you're right, the return's a little better for sure.
Definitely. Now, you guys branched out into, you mentioned PPF, so you guys have a shop. Do you do any mobile detailing, or is there any other services besides detailing and PPF that you're currently offering?
So right now we are strictly site-based or on location. We're not mobile anymore. We do PPF, we do ceramic coatings. Obviously, just like everybody else, we do the regular details. But I think what's most profitable for us is the ceramic coatings. That's once we started doing those.
Yeah, and it's ceramic coatings have been so great for our industry because what it helped us to do was to charge for our service, and it allowed us to offer a premium product at a premium price. And so now what people are realizing is, hey, I can charge for this service, and people are willing to pay for it. So it took us a level up, because I remember detailing before ceramic coatings, and to get $300 or $400 for a detail was like, you've done great, you've maxed out, and now if I'm doing a $300 detail, I'm upset about it. I'm like, what? Couldn't we have upsold them? Couldn't we have done something? I mean, literally, I think our average ticket price over all of them is like $700 or $800 right now. And ceramic coatings helped show detailers the way for that. And so I don't, I think that there's, that not everyone has to have them. I think they're situational in their application, but I think it was huge for our industry.
May I interject one thing about the ceramic coatings that we shifted our thinking on? Actually, two things. One thing is, we used to, in the beginning, we got ceramic coating, we would ceramic coat someone's vehicle and we would never see them again.
Yep.
We're like, man, what did we just do? Did we just shoot ourselves in the foot? I mean, this guy used to come for regular details every quarter, do maybe a wax or sealant. So what we've been doing is we've been explaining it better about the coating and how important it is to come back in for maintenance. And so we've been changing that up a lot. And I think my guys love it because when they come back in for maintenance, it's so easy.
It's easy.
Correct.
We did the go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we did the exact same thing in our shop. About a year and a half ago, we changed over. We were doing the same thing. Coat them and see them never again, maybe. But now we have a quarterly maintenance that we require, and then an annual, and that allows us to keep that vehicle up. So it's not just slap this thing on your car and then see you. We're in this together. We're going to do this coating, and then we're going to maintain this coating, and it's going to stay looking like this forever.
Yeah.
Correct. So what I was going to segue into is, the importance of getting their emails and sending them reminders, which, wish there was a good CRM or software that could do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Better than forget it type of deal. But the point is, it's nice because that's one thing. And then the other thing that we've changed is that when people come straight at us and ask us how much a ceramic coating is, a lot of detailers, they get kind of funny about that. Like they don't want to say a price. So I've adopted kind of a hybrid view of that. I don't give them the full on price because truly we need to see their vehicle in person to give them the true price. But I won't be bashful and say, you know what, the ceramic coating itself and the application won't cost that much. I mean, for us, we're like $600 to $800 we could put on a ceramic coating. But most cars don't come in corrected and in a condition, both in performance and aesthetics, that most people would be happy putting a ceramic coating on. So we need to come in so that we can assess your vehicle.
Yep.
And so that, that has been great. That has been so revolutionary because you don't want to put any roadblocks up for your customer. The more roadblocks you put up, the less chance of you being able to get them in the door and closing on the deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we call it like our frictionless. We want to give you an estimate ballpark pricing over the phone based on the conditions you're telling us. But at the time of check-in, when you come in, we're going to assess this vehicle. And we're going to tell you what it needs. What we think it needs, how it would look best. We're going to hear what you want out of it, and then we're going to find that common ground that works for both of us. And that way, we're not selling you something that you don't want or don't care about, but we're doing exactly that you're asking for, and then always just a little bit more.
That's right.
So you mentioned a couple employees, and I'm just curious, are you looking to grow in that area as far as employees are concerned, or is it kind of that y'all's niche and that's where y'all want to stick with?
For us, it's not so much do we want to look at how much money we want to make, like gross, or how big we want to get. We are focusing more on being the most efficient and most profitable. We're really into, we love the lifestyle that this business affords us. So we have a great setup. We don't live very far from where we work.
Sure. Right.
So I could walk out the door and start working. And
nice. Nice.
We have a brewery behind us. We live in a small community of 17,000. Everything's very organic. The way we grow is very organic in terms of, I've got so many guys that I met at the brewery that come and do ceramic coatings, and people do business with us. There's one guy, he doesn't even wash his truck. I'm like, why in the world did you even ceramic coat your truck? It's because he likes us.
Wow.
It's purely out of a relationship thing. And he coated 2 vehicles. And the point is we want to maintain, yes, we have goals. We do want to get our business to a certain dollar amount, and we do want to be able to have value to where we could show the books to someone and say, hey, here, this is how much the business is worth, and sell it one day.
Sure.
Pass it on to our sons. But the point that I'm getting at is we're more focused on the lifestyle that we want to maintain right now. We work we cut off at 5. We work 5.5 days a week.
Yeah.
We work half days Saturdays sometimes, but pretty nice setup.
Well, and I think that says a lot. Absolutely. A lot of people are focused on that gross number, that total sales, and it really means nothing. If you're not making money, if you're not profitable, and then we talked about this last week, if you're not tracking those expenses and really know if you're doing that off the checkbook, then you really don't know how profitable your business is, and you really don't ever get that peace of mind that says, hey, I'm efficient, or I can do this and profit from this. It's always just like, I just got to make more. I got to make more, or I got to do more work. And that's where a lot of people's growth comes from, is just that need to fulfill a number on the top end of it, but really it all matters at the bottom. That's where the true number is.
Do you think people are really hearing what you're saying when you say that? I don't know if they're hearing it.
No, people are doing this. A lot of people are just trying to do it for the fame and the like, that instant gratification, and say, well, I'm a $1 million shop or whatever. I've done X amount of dollars in detail, and in reality, it means nothing if you're not making money while doing it.
Yeah.
I actually got a phone call just the other day of a guy that had stumbled across our podcast from you guys. He had found you guys first, and then he had found our podcast and came to us and literally said, I am the guy that has focused too much on becoming the best polisher, the best detailer, but it just never clicked until you said it how you said it. I'm not focusing enough on the business. I'm too far in it to be able to see that broad view. Yeah. And and after he saw that, I mean, it literally changed the way that he looked at this business and his business, and now he wants to do it, with the thought process of how can I be more profitable? How can I grow my business and still have a personal life?
Yeah.
And it's it's really cool. And having the software, I mean, I hate to bring it back to software, but it's the thing that allows you to kind of step back and see your numbers every morning. When you look at your numbers, you now have a goal. You know what you need to get in the shop to make that, to make what your goal is. And so it's really cool to be able to have that kind of influence on people. And I know you guys have done a really good job with that through your summit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely excited about that. So I guess I should. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say you mentioned that when you look at your CRM and you have it to where you can see what your total is per day, and combine that with you're looking at, okay, well, I made $1,000 today, and so I'm at the bracket that 50% of that actually gets to go to operating expense and 30% gets to go to me. I believe when you're doing that, it now makes it easier for you to ask what you're worth. Maybe before you were like, oh, I don't think anybody would want to pay more than $200. Sure. But then you look at wait, that $200 really only turns into 2 times 30 is, what can't do the number? $60. I can't do my number.
62 times 30, 60. Yeah.
That's what's going to go in my pocket. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? Those are my numbers. Let me flip it. Those are my numbers because of our bracket. 50% is going to go to me. Oh, I'm going to make $100 and this is going to take me 4 hours. Right. And it's really, really, really painful hard. And so suddenly you have the guts. And as long as you've got the confidence and say to the person, it's going to be this much money and here's why. Well, yes, sir. That's why I came to you. Solve the problem. Okay. I'll pay that. Right.
If they knew how much it was or what it involved, they would do it themselves. Like they're coming to you as a professional to provide a professional service, and that service has a fee associated with it, and it's not going to be the same as everybody around. Like it's just not. Like our expenses and our overhead is different than the shop down the road, so our prices are going to be different. However, our quality and our expectations are of the highest end. So we're going to tell you here's what we do, and here's how much it costs. Okay, this is specific to our shop. Mm-hmm. And so that's how, and those numbers are derived from our cost and our projected profits, and we're a profit share company. If I'm not profitable, these guys aren't happy. They're driven off of bonuses that go on top of their salaries, and that's what keeps them motivated. So if there's not a planned profit and achieved, then they're not getting the bonuses that they want, and everybody's kind of upset about it. So it's a business. This is not a lemonade stand. This is a business, and it's designed to make money and for people to benefit from and grow. And if you're not doing it as that, then you're running a lemonade stand.
It really is like a switch when a guy realizes that by undercharging, that they're chasing off high-end clientele because they just assume they're not offering the level of service they're used to getting because they're used to paying twice what this detailer is trying to charge. And it's just when they realize it, and I've got to have that conversation with them and explain, just mention it to them, and then you see the switch flip, and they're like, I've been looking at this the whole wrong way. You're right. I should value myself, to the extent that where I can make money and make this profitable, continue to grow.
But if they don't have a consistent way to look at their pricing either, it's hard. When we all started, we were like, just write down what you think you could do and how much you think you should charge, and it was very subjective and very I guess. Negotiable in a sense, because if you're shooting from the hip, the customer's always like, well, if he said 500, maybe he'll take 450.
Yeah.
But if I got a price tag on it, and this is what I charge, and this is what I'm going to do, and they negotiate with that, well, you tell me which one of these you want me to take off, and then I'll do it for your price. Simple as that. You don't go argue with Walmart over a gallon of milk.
Right.
If they're charging $4 or $3, whatever it is, I don't know how much a gallon of milk is.
Oh, gosh.
I have no clue. What are they, $2?
I don't know, but I love the fact he doesn't know how much a gallon of milk is.
I have no clue.
Yeah, you and Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, you guys just.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Around $5.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, enough of that. So curious, when y'all started working together, challenges that y'all face. When we talk about couples, we know that look, you live together, you work together. That's a lot of togetherness. What are some of the challenges that y'all faced?
1, communication.
Okay.
2, keeping our emotions under control.
Yes.
1, I love this guy. If I would choose him again, if we were not together, but there were times like, ironically, we both really always want to make each other happy. That's our motivation. Oh, I think you want this and I'll do this. And I mean, there was points where this would come out of my mouth and that would come out of his. I mean, I think I was quitting 3 times every day. And
I've heard this story.
So communication, we took some communication courses. I love to read, just whatever it's taken, and it's much better. And that doesn't mean that we don't, we still have great patches, and then we'll have these lulls where everything rubs each other the wrong way. So
sure,
but you're able to kind of see that now since you've experienced it, and then say, hey, we've done this before. Let's get on the same page again. And I imagine that pull it back in a lot quicker.
That's kind of the gift that entrepreneurship gives you, is it takes those pieces of you that are weak and exposes light on them. And then you have to get it together, or else you're just going to, like the business wouldn't make it, because for a long time, the employees were me and him, right?
Yes. Yep.
So
Well, communication's been said numerous times. We've had a lot of couples on, and that was literally the first one. The very common response was communication, and you got to. So if y'all are on 2 different levels and your thought process are 2 different places, it's very hard to have a common objective and to feel good about where the other one's at. But if you're communicating well and each one knows kind of the
established
roles, and what the other one's doing exactly, then you're able to kind of work through those things, and there's not so so much gray area and so much
tension.
Right. So
his wife used to quit every day when they worked together.
Every day she would quit. At some point she would, I'm out of here.
Try it again the next day.
And then there was one day that she never came back. No, it was really not that bad. I mean, it was that bad actually, but it wasn't that bad.
There's got to be some. Is there a memorable, something that sticks out as far as just a great memory, a moment that you had that you look back and remember?
Yeah. So when she first started helping me, I was still running the mobile routes, and we ran from Houston all the way up to Hearne, Texas, which is past College Station. That's like an hour and a half run, and I told her it was like fall time, and I told her that it would get colder up there, and so she brought a jacket, and we showed up kind of late, like around 2:00.
No, later, 4
o'clock.
Yeah, some would already say.
We showed up super late, and I did a kind of a free deal for the owner, because it was such a good account. He had a toy hauler, and I was painting some cabinets for him, spraying some cabinets. And they're just great guys. So that we're there, so they felt bad me just coming up doing a freebie. So they started going and pulling keys and throwing us stuff. I said, well, why don't you clean these up? And why don't you ozone this? It has smoke smell. And there's a bumper that needs to get painted. Yeah. We made how much?
900.
We made $900 from 4 to
6 or 7, I don't
6
know.
6 or 7.
Yeah, and they also would let us lock up the
we lock up the gate.
Wow.
Yeah, they just
the time when we were still struggling during that time, and so it was memorable to me because we worked as a team, and I just couldn't believe the amount of work we got done in that short period of time, and it was like against all odds. I mean, it was getting cold, and it was late, and we still managed to rock it. And I was like, man,
to go there expecting to not do, to not make anything, or to go there and do to provide a service. But, and we all do this, by the way. Like, I know when you're starting out, especially, you're always just kind of doing things to just kind of build your reputation or build the name and build those relationships. And so to go there with the expectation of probably not do a whole lot, but give this guy something or this girl something, but then to actually come out ahead like that, it's such a good moment to have.
That was a memorable
awesome
ride home, I imagine. You guys had some pretty good conversation on the ride home.
It was amazing. Yeah.
That's funny because my best memory is also just me and him. We were mobile, and we went to one customer's location, did 2 cars, starting at 8 a.m., wrapping up around 12:30. 2 cars at $250. We're making $500. and I just felt like rock stars. I even look back at it now because we'll have like multiple employees in the same type of detail, and how come it's taken 4 hours for multiple people when he and I guess that's the difference between you're the owner and you're not.
Oh,
but
it's difficult. Yeah.
You know what that reminds us, since both of our memories are just me and him, and they weren't glamorous at the time. No. It's a nice reminder because we have our goals for where I want to get the business, and I need to stop right now and look because we have a lot of things on track. I have a lot of things to stop.
Yes.
Things that aren't going right. But honey, I love our life. I love the things we have implemented and put in place. We are on the right track, and I need to, because we're going to look back when things are even crazier and go, remember when we had only 2 employees in one location? Remember how nice that? We have a podcast right in our own room, and then we go back out to work. That was so fun.
It's so easy to get caught in that like forecasted, like goal driven. Got to do this. We suck at this, or we need to do this better, and we want to be here, and why aren't we? Or we didn't hit this. But in reality, if you look at where you came from, like look at the progress, and be able to kind of just take a peek back. Not long. Take a peek back and say, hey, we've came a long way and we're doing a lot of stuff right, and it's fun. That's why we do this, to see that progress and to see where we've come from. And I think it's really cool that you guys can share that moment with us, because we all have that. And I always wait on someone to say, oh, it's today. This is my most memorable moment, is being on Play by Play podcast, but it hasn't happened yet. This is my most memorable moment, getting to talk to Dustin and Ryan on camera. No, that's awesome. So you kind of mentioned it before, but we'll ask again. So, like your work-life rule, keeping business, and your personal, you guys shut down at 5 or 5:30, and y'all, is that kind of business over? Now it's home life. Is that how you guys do?
That's where we want to be. I mean,
sure.
We want to get to what she implemented, a 7 to 7 rule. So, outside, how does that work out? Before 7, no work talk, and after 7, no work talk. But we've gotten a little bit better at it. Sometimes it's hard because everything bleeds. I mean, we talk about work all the time.
Sure.
But now, like yesterday was a nice evening. We just decided just go downtown, which is 2 blocks from us, and we just walked down in historic downtown Brenham, and we did pretty good. We didn't talk too much about work, and so we're trying to be more disciplined in that area.
Sure.
And I just learned that a week or 2 ago. It's a tip from Rennie Doyle's wife.
Okay.
7 to 7, and so sometimes we start talking, and I'll wait a minute, and I'll look up. Okay, not yet. Because we need that. I mean, we're human, right? And we're very emotional, and just to be woken up and someone start just rambling on about the latest work problem, it's old.
Oh, it
yeah.
It does. I require my morning starts very early, and that's my time, and I don't want to hear anything about work or anything. I don't discuss that stuff for a while. I get up at 4, and it's probably, I'm here 6:15, so 7 o'clock before the first real business kind of comes, problem comes to presents itself, especially coming from other people. Now my brain's always turning, but that 4 to 7 is my time, and it's very valuable to me.
Yeah, sometimes at 8 o'clock he's still in 7 o'clock mode. He's not. I love life. I just want to talk, and it's not. I'm a morning person, I guess, in that aspect. I don't have to warm up to it.
Ryan has these jokes and things that he wants to do in the mornings, and I'm very businessy. My morning is very definitive, and my brain's in a very special place, and it doesn't want to deal with Ryan in the morning. It's like Ryan is like nails on a chalkboard.
Well, I get a little anxiety, and so when everything's tense, my just natural defense mechanism is let's make light and let's laugh and take a deep breath. But
it's terrible.
He says it's terrible. It makes everybody else, I think, have a good day, but it's a balance. You definitely gotta have that balance.
Yin and yang. Is that what
it is?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the morning.
Yeah. I try my best to steer away from that now.
But now when we get home together, it's totally different.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Now, if there was one piece of advice that you would give, because we have been talking to these, the couples in this industry, and there are a lot of upcoming younger couples that would love to have, just that head start, something to skip some of the, the headaches that y'all went through. What's one piece of advice that you would give to another couple that's wanting to come into the industry?
Don't do it. Don't do
Love it. That's the best.
That's the first time. That's
the best one.
Don't do it. No, she'll give the real answer.
Okay, now here's the thing. If you're gonna do it, it can be very rewarding. I love books, and so I would highly recommend reading the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. I know it's been out already 20 some years, but it's like so old now that people they don't all know it, and it will tell you what we women mean when words come out of our mouth and how he hears it, and what he means when words come out of his mouth and how I translate it. We literally almost speak our own different language. I found that book when we were at one of our roughest points, and I'm listening to it while we're working, and I'm screaming, laughing because it's so ridiculous. How the guy hears a statement that we say. And I turn to him and I say, hey, if I make this statement, does it mean to you XYZ? And he's like, of course, what else could it mean?
Yeah.
So scales fell from my eye, and then just understanding what he needs when he's tense or stressed, and then I want to go problem solve. That's what we women do, or not a problem solve, but we want to make it better with a bunch of words. Yeah, make it better with a bunch of words, and no, don't do that. So Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I think the author is John Gray, something Gray. And the other piece of advice is play to your strengths. Yes, you need to be well-rounded, but I'm a nerd. Let me be a nerd. Let me come organize. Let me do the numbers. It'll be better. He is a sledgehammer outside when it comes to the jobs. Let him do his thing, and let me come and do the finer tuning stuff at the end. Everyone's happier. Everything's more productive. And when you try to fit one of us into another role, because that's how it has to be, everybody's going to be frustrated.
Button heads.
What's it? The square peg in the round hole.
Square peg in the round hole.
Just doesn't fit, and so you stick with what you're great at and play to each other's strengths. I think
that's sorry. That might be my answer for the next question. Sorry.
What is it?
You can ask the next question.
Well, yeah, future goals. I mean, we talked a little bit about it, and you guys are very happy with where you are and kind of where you're. But what are the future goals of your company? And then also, I wanted to make sure we take some time to talk about the summit that I participated in that's done phenomenally. But first, let's talk about your goals, and then we'll get into that.
So we have a financial goal, and getting there isn't hard given how the volume that we have right now. We're doing pretty fabulous, but we can see that, we can take on a bunch more work. And so for right now, my goal is to get all that structure in place, to more sharply define our roles, start to really run like a business. Yep. We've done a lot of this from just hodgepodging it and getting a little better, but we don't have standard operating procedures, or what we do have them, and they all kind of live up here. And so they mostly happen, but they don't always happen. And then when they're not implemented, then you end up with a problem because, something.
That's it every time.
But really dialing all that into where I have a nice, yes, I like everything in its box. But the boxers there for a reason, baby. Let's make this thing could be way more efficient and way more profitable. And then, we're all for adding more employees. There's no reason we can't double our income in the next couple of years. There's no reason in the world.
Absolutely. No, and look, as an entrepreneur, the hardest thing is to take what you've done and build and put it into a process that is reproducible. So, my suggestion in that is, because it's very difficult for you to do, I brought in someone, his name's Trey, and he has really helped write the processes down, to dig in and with me write all of our processes down in place as far as the detailing is concerned. And it has been just like the most enlightening thing, helpful thing. He values the technical side of things. And so to come in and write those processes down and actually put them into place and make sure that our guys are doing them, it's been fantastic for our business. I mean, we took 10 steps ahead once we figured out, okay, that we don't have an answer for this. If this situation happens, everybody has a different answer, and that doesn't work when you're scaling. When you're building and you got 12 or 14 or 20 or 2 stores, 3 stores, whatever, then everybody's got to have the same answer to get the same results. Similar, very similar. And so if we don't have that process written down, and this is how you do it, and this is what you do, and this is why you do it, then you start to have, very inconsistent results and inconsistent, product usage and things like that. So I think it's great. So I want to talk about the summit that you did. We had absolutely so much fun. You're an awesome interviewer. We it went very smooth. But how's the success been from it, and how do you feel like it went or is going? Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, right. What's funny is I love talking to you guys, you speakers, because I'm over here kind of in the middle of nowhere in my own little bubble, and I'm very hard on myself, so ridiculously perfectionist, hard on myself. It was phenomenal. The feedback was wonderful. The measure of success is also what it gave to each of you. Yeah. And everybody got a good return on it. And attendees got what they needed, like the feedback that you just got, that like, hey, I've been doing it. And we were at that place for so long too. There's always a next level to get to. And there's always these things that you don't realize. That's why everyone keeps saying this phrase. But that phrase didn't mean anything to me now. And when you hear every single person say across the board, here's how important profits are, or here's what you need to stop doing. Did you notice almost everybody said what we need to stop doing is screwing around on Facebook in the groups that aren't supportive? Yes. Right. Advertising to those groups when you actually should be advertising to your market. Yeah, fine. You want to play on Facebook? Go educate your local market. So it was a success for the goals that I had, the parameters I had set up. It was a success in that everyone got to cross-pollinate. Like, let's say you're out there and people know you've created your software, but they didn't know that guy with the bow tie on, or they didn't know Jeremy Stevens over at Shine Supply, who just talks to you from the heart, like nonstop. Will tell you not just what kind of compound to use, but guys, here's what matters in your life. Stop screwing around with this and pay attention to your family and put those priorities in place. We brought together so many different viewpoints, levels of experience, and gave people not the nuts and bolts of how to buff your car.
Yes.
Right. Probably that, or you can find a very good program. But we brought together the people that were going to tell you, here's how to make a solid business with less headache for the long term. I mean, I'm kind of putting it up in too much of a nutshell. And so we can't wait. I'm going to do it again.
Great. That's what we wanted to hear. Yeah.
It is going to be recreated. And so from the feedback that I got, I'll be polling everyone again to say, like, what else do you want to know? We can only go so deep in a certain interview, but if you like the person, the new detailed person that you hear, go deeper. Everybody offered you something, some way to get in touch. And what I loved was the common theme for people that really leveled up. They used a mentor.
Yes.
Find a mentor. And that's what I was doing. That was the goal. Like, here, check out all these guys. You like how this one talks? You like what that one talks about? Find your person. It's small, and you would invest in any kind of tool. Invest in yourself.
That's right.
Everybody that's gotten to some high goal they had didn't mean that they could afford to pay it when they did it, but they did it and found a way, and that's what leveled them up. So I would love for us to transform that part of our detailing mindset, that it is worth it. One, it's not an expense, it's an investment to have a CRM, a way to track your customers and to stay in touch with them. And it's not an expense, it's an investment in yourself. How many, you pulled my string, baby. How many of them talked about it's not working on your business, it's working on yourself. Your business is the side effect, the result that will happen when you've gotten a lot of this stuff right.
Listen, you said a mouthful there, and that's exactly right. These guys are so trapped into the mindset of being the best detailer, and in reality, you've got to be your best self, and you got to have have people that you talk to that have done it, and know that you're not fighting this thing by yourself. Other people have been through these problems. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time you run into a problem. People have solved these problems for years before you, and they will continue to solve them.
I think that's why you're so generous with your time and advice when people come to you, because if you would have had that, you also are going to be saving them so much headache and so much money,
so much time, so much money. Just to answer a question. Like, look, I was literally on Facebook a while ago into a group. I got alerted, and it was a local detailer polishing some pontoons. And I know, like he said, I've been fighting this battle, for this customer, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, come up to my shop, grab some Zephyr wheel, give him here's the tools. Go now, you can go fix this thing for yourself. And I know, because I've been that guy in the shop polishing for hours on end and days on end, and I just I cringed when I saw that. So to be able, to find somebody that can help you, not just in the actual work, but the business and the life and all of it together. I know I have guys and women that I look up to in that realm and use all the time. So, it was awesome. It was awesome. You put on a heck of a show.
Absolutely.
Let me just say the show has wrapped up. However, it's you can still find it. It's detailmastersacademy.com. Okay. And when you're on that page, you click the buttons. While the live stream that we had is over, you can still get access to it. Currently, and I'm not going to make this indefinite, you can get all of the audios, 24 speakers telling you what matters for $49. And then you can just be working and listening and going through it. And so $49, you own it. I'm not selling a membership right now. I haven't got that fancy yet. You download it and you listen.
You can listen as much as you want.
Over and over and over again. It's like some days, we have great days where we're killing it, and then we have days where we're like, what the heck am I doing? Pop one of these guys on, re-listen to it, get yourself reinvigorated. We all need our own cheerleader and motivation. So it's detailmastersacademy.com. You can still sign up so that when the next one comes out, you'll be one of the first to be alerted. And awesome. In the meantime, you can review. Maybe you heard like half of it, but people get busy and you miss some days. You get access to it.
24 of them, and they're all about an hour long, so it's 24 hours worth of content. Listen, we'll drop that link in our comments too, so that for those of you that didn't catch it, it'll be in the comments. We'll have it put in there for you. Awesome talking to you, Marcy and Alex. You guys are awesome. You are rocking it out there. We appreciate the involvement into the summit, with you guys. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully we can jump in there with you again. We were tons of success came from it on our end, and just love to provide that value, and anything that we can help in our industry, we're happy to be a part of. So.
And you guys let me know when you're ready to check out our CRM. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of showing it off to you. So, definitely love to show you what we offer. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Y'all have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See you later. All right.
That was great.
That was awesome, man. They were cool. They were cool. She's a firecracker, man.
Yeah, they're both. What a great personality. That was great, man. I'm loving this series as always.
Yeah.
We have some of the best folks on, and you guys really should check out that summit. So much great information came out of it.
It did, man. It was packed.
Absolutely.
It was packed. 24 speakers, and I know one of them that was really good.
Are you talking about Evan LaCroix?
Yeah,
Is that his name with the bow tie?
No, it was awesome, man. She's a great interviewer, by the way. She's a great communicator.
Sure.
She's gonna go far, man. And I know they are already, and we're happy to be a little blip in their radar. But it was fun, great conversation. So, but
everybody, I know y'all been waiting around for this.
Yes, they are.
Jessica, what time is it?
Timing was impeccable.
Timing was impeccable. Absolutely, man. Well, listen, there's nothing like a strong, cold Coca-Cola to wash down a good sandwich. Well, let's say that Coke is good for washing down something else, too. That's bird droppings.
Bird droppings?
Yeah, well, at least that's what the internet has to say, and we know the internet doesn't lie.
Yeah.
So we wanted to test it out. Chris spun up a video for us. Let's see how it works.
All right, we got a Coca-Cola. We have bird droppings. We have Coke down the side of the car. All right, so he's using the Coke to clean off the bird droppings. And, listen, it's got to be the acid in the Coca-Cola that's helping clean. You got to be careful with acid on glass. It can etch into it. So would not recommend doing this in the sun and leaving it long. But the liquid actually acts as a lubrication, too, to help clean those bird droppings off. I don't know that Coca-Cola was really designed to clean it. Look at that refreshed look, though. That's what it's really for.
Man, I thought I was the talent. That was acting right there.
That was beautiful.
Good job, sir.
That was beautiful. So no, it works. Quote unquote. It's a hack. Here once again. Here's the reality. Okay, here's the reality. If you find yourself in the middle of the woods, and all you have is your window
and a nice cold
and bird shit on your car, on your window, and a cold Coca-Cola, you could clean that bird shit off of your window with that Coca-Cola. So it does work. Don't leave it on there, guys. The acid in there can etch the glass and can cause some real issues.
And let's be honest, guys, if you're professionals, why don't you just put some degreaser on that dung and be done with it? You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. So hang on, we got some comments we wanted to give a shout out to. Joe LaPalm, as always, is he's our awesome follower. Billy Smith, Vandy, Nate Sharp, Steve Nishman.
Oh, that's the gentleman that I had the demo with earlier. Yeah.
And then, of course, Desmond. Desmond's always there. And so appreciate you guys following us. Thanks a lot. We are going to be having our show live at a very special place next Friday. We're going to be down live at the Battleship Park in Mobile, Alabama, and that's going to be at our boat show that we're putting on.
Second annual boat show by the bay. Boat show on the bay by the bay.
Boat show on the bay, and it's such an awesome event. We planned this thing last year because COVID had caused a couple cancellations in boat shows that we participated in. So you said, you know what, we'll plan our own.
Yeah,
and that's what we did. And we had a great one last year. We're going to have an even better one this year. I mean, we got all kind of stuff going on. We got boats, of course,
concerts,
kids activities, pets or pet friendly, pet and zoo.
Dustin's wife's doing Mel's Bar out there.
My wife will be doing Mel's Bar. We're going to have
that.
Yeah, we're going to have the
the beanbag toss. What is that?
Cornhole tournament, and 100 vendors. A few hundred boats. We got boats on the water. We got these barges that we're pushing up to make these docks. We got a fishing tournament going on.
Bring your kids, bounce houses, princesses. We got, all kinds of stuff for the whole family. It's just going to be a killer event.
The best part is play-by-play will be on set Friday from 11:30 to 12:30, and we're going to have Billy Boggess on.
And Beth Boggess.
Billy and Miss Beth.
We've talked to Billy before, and what a fantastic interview he always is. A lot of fun, but I'm really excited to actually talk to Beth.
Bring your kids out for that conversation.
House for that one. Billy's known to be represent his product well, the F-bomb. It's a phenomenal product.
That's right. Love me some Billy. Anyways,
absolutely.
Guys, we're super excited about it. Can't wait to join y'all next week from the boat show. Of course, if you missed this, you catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube, anywhere there's a podcast, you can find us. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.